So, today I feel we can start by talking a little bit about money. I know it's a rare topic in satsang and we rarely ever bring it up. But with some friends in the chat yesterday, we were talking about this topic, isn't it? The topic of money. And actually, it's a very simple topic, but can be sticky for many of us. Even after a long time in satsang, it can still be or still seem like a real subject. So, what is it about money that makes it so sticky? So, money actually, I feel, gets correlated with two different things. The first thing it gets correlated with, which is very primal, is a sense of security. The feeling is that if there is enough money, then there will be a sense of security. And on the flip side, it can feel like if there is not enough money, then there is not enough security. So, this one, the feeling of wanting security or feeling secure, is something which is very primal to most human beings. And that's why money seems to become important. But as this sense of personhood is now dissolving and the sense of separation is now going, you will all see that this fear of being secure or the sense of insecurity from the lack of money or anything at all will start to fade away. What is it that we need to secure? What is it that we need to defend? We have seen that this one that needed defending, that needed security, just does not exist. So find out what needs to be secured, what needs to be defended. You see? So that is the first. The second is this feeling that money seems to be the way to keep count of how well we are doing in this phenomenal world. And again, it comes from the root of the person concept. The person wants to do well and it wants to do better and better. The person wants to become something. And that is why, in the eyes of the world, when a person has money, they say that he has become something. But if you were to go and ask that person, he would say that I still have a long way to go because no amount of money is ever enough for most people. So I would much rather, if we have to keep count, which actually there is no reason to, but if we had to keep count, can we keep a count of how peaceful we are, how joyful we are, how happy we are, how much do we smile? And if you were to ask most people, they would say, I am earning money so that I can be happy. But happiness is always in the now. Joy is always in the now. So we see that this second reason as a way of keeping count is also nothing. So both the reason of trying to provide security to something which does not exist and as a way of keeping count of how well a person is doing. Now we see that the person itself does not exist, then what are we keeping count about? So, with this, what is seen? What is seen is not that we must have an aversion towards money. Yesterday, also, we were talking about this pendulum which goes from desire to aversion. So, sometimes when we say, okay, I don't now have the desire for money, we swing the pendulum too far back and it becomes an aversion towards money. That is why it is good to see that it is not a desire nor an aversion. Because an aversion also is a desire strongly to not do something or to not have something. So, as with everything else, with money also, be completely neutral. It means nothing to you. If there is lots of it, it means nothing. If there is none of it, it means nothing. See, there are these special symbols, these worldly symbols, which appeal a lot to the ego. And with this, we create a sense of specialness about it, either through an unnatural desire or an unnatural aversion. It is the same for sex also. It either becomes too special or we make it too shameful. We can do the same thing for hunger also. We can make food too special or we can have a develop an aversion towards it. None of this is required. All of this is a play of the mind. Without belief in our thoughts, we will find this beautiful neutrality towards all things. All things are allowed to come and go. If they are coming in the appearance, they can be enjoyed. And when they are going, also, there is joy that is here, independent of all that is coming and going. So, neither King Janaka nor a Sufi saint or a fakir do you have to be. Stop deciding what you're going to be anyway. Life is unfolding in its own beautiful way, and everything is taken care of. Life does not need the input from our mind, it does not need to rely on our thoughts. No appearance can touch you anyway. So many of these are very subtle things, you see. They're very subtle, and once it's pointed in satsang, then you can just quietly contemplate where any of this sticky stuff is still around for you, lurking somewhere quietly to come up in the right opportunity. This is very good.